All organisms, from tiny microbes in the soil to us humans, actively alter their environment. But what happens when these are negative changes? Changes that ripple through the environment and negatively impact Earth's global system. Let's find out together in this episode all about pollution. All species change their surroundings, which can have positive or negative effects on the ecosystem. Humans are no different. Human activities such as resource extraction, agriculture, and energy use negatively impact the ecosystems of the world through air, water, and land pollution. Pollution is the addition of any substance or form of energy to the environment at a rate faster than it can be dispersed. Basically, it's any substance that's in the wrong concentration in the environment. So this trash is pollution. It doesn't belong here in this natural environment. Today, we will be looking at several different types of pollution and their impact on all four of Earth's spheres. When we think of pollution, we tend to envision a big processing plant with synthetic chemicals bellowing out into the atmosphere. Those do exist and are definitely a problem, but natural compounds in the wrong concentrations can also be an issue. Air pollution involves the release of substances into the atmosphere from both natural and human-induced sources. Primary pollutants are emitted directly, but once those chemicals are in the atmosphere, they begin to mix and react with each other, causing secondary pollutants to form. The number one source of primary pollutants comes from burning fossil fuels or non-renewable resources like coal, oil, or natural gas. Without human interference, the carbon in fossil fuels would slowly leak into the atmosphere through natural events like volcanic eruptions in the slow carbon cycle. By burning coal, oil, and natural gas, we accelerate this process, releasing carbon that took millions of years to accumulate into the atmosphere every year. If you need a refresher on the carbon cycle, this video will help. The current changes in the carbon cycle are happening because of human impact, removing carbon from the three main carbon sinks on Earth: forests, the ocean, and soil. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that absorbs energy, including infrared energy or heat emitted by the Earth, and then re-emits it. This energy travels out in all directions, some returning to the Earth, where it heats the surface. We need greenhouse gases. Without them, Earth would just be a frozen wasteland. But with too many, Earth gets too hot, which isn't good either. Areas with large numbers of cars and factories may develop smog. Smog is a secondary pollutant. When sunlight reacts with primary air pollutants, smog is formed. This combination of smoke and fog can make it difficult to breathe and can irritate eyes. Another secondary pollutant is acid rain. Once those chemicals and substances are in the atmosphere, they become part of the water cycle. Acid rain, defined as any form of precipitation that has a pH less than 5.6. So this isn't terrifying, burn your skin acid rain. Acid rain moves pollution from the atmosphere to the other three spheres. For example, a lake might look clear and beautiful, but with closer inspection, there might be few living organisms. Amphibians, fish, and crustaceans are very sensitive to acid in their water supply and might not survive in areas experiencing acid rain. Acid rain can alter soil chemistry, nutrient availability, and plant growth. In their weakened condition, trees and plants can become vulnerable to disease and infestations of insects and fungus. Acid rain also speeds up natural weathering cycles, affecting the geosphere. Earth is mostly a closed system. Energy like sunlight and heat is exchanged with space, but matter is here to stay. All the air, water, minerals, and chemicals on Earth just cycle through the biosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Like we've just seen, air pollution doesn't just remain air pollution. The same is true with land pollution. Land pollution is caused by industrial contaminants like heavy metals and chemical solvents from manufacturing, mining operations, and improper waste disposal. Agricultural chemicals like pesticides and excess fertilizers alter soil chemistry, harm beneficial soil organisms, and reduce long-term productivity. All of this sounds bad, but we know that these substances don't just stay in the soil. Leaching carries contaminants down into groundwater, and runoff transports them to nearby waterways. Now this land pollution has become water pollution. If you're still here liking this video, let us know. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Water pollution can come from identifiable locations or events like industrial discharge pipes, sewage treatment overflows, or accidental oil spills. These sources are easier to regulate, but most often, water pollution begins on land. Man-made fertilizer seems like a good idea because it allows plants to just slurp up nitrates without having to wait on the whole bacteria eat poop cycle. All this loose nitrogen in the soil can get carried away by rainwater and runoff and end up in rivers and lakes, which can disrupt the ecosystem by creating an algae bloom. This is a bunch of algae growing really quickly because it's using up all of that nitrogen. Why is a ton of algae a bad thing? Because of something called eutrophication. The algae quickly die once the nitrogen gets used up, and bacteria have to break them down. But the bacteria require oxygen to break down the algae. Through this process, the water quality quickly deteriorates because all of the dissolved oxygen gets used up. Obviously, this oxygen is pretty important to all the living things in that body of water, so it just becomes a big ol' mess. Improper disposal of solid waste is a major source of water pollution. Plastic pollution can be broken down by wave action and ultraviolet radiation into smaller pieces known as microplastics. Today we're here with Ranger Laura and we're going to learn all about plastic pollution. What are these here that you have?
These are called Nurdles. It's a type of resin pellet that is used to make things like water bottles, watch straps, including the one that I have on here, anything that involves plastic. About 200 of these little guys makes one 16-ounce plastic water bottle.
Why are they a problem?
They're so small. These get mistaken for food a lot by our birds, our sea turtles, our fish. Since these are a raw form of plastic, they do leach toxins and poisons into their bodies. It can poison them. It can get stuck in their esophaguses, making them slowly starve to death because they don't know the difference between them.
Scientific studies of both freshwater and marine locations have found microplastics in every aquatic organism tested. These tiny plastics work their way up the marine food chains, from the tiny zooplankton and small fish to large marine predators. Humans are also part of this food chain, consuming fish, shrimp, and other marine organisms.
We do see these wash up on our shoreline every single day, but you also see them wash up on your freshwater shorelines and on your rivers as well.
How do they get there?
By ship and by railroad cart. A shipping container falls off into the ocean that's full of a million Nurdles, falls off into the ocean and then washes up on shore, or a shipping container falls off of a railroad cart, ends up on a railroad, and then rain, wind, people kicking things around, and ends up in our rivers, ends up in our freshwater lakes. That's why when we do something called Nurdle patrols here at Seagram State Park, and that you can do at home, you're basically hunched over looking at very tiny particles in the sand trying to find them. We have, give or take, about 24.8 billion pieces of trash in the ocean. Billion, with a big B in the ocean right now. A good equivalent is a dumpster truck filling up with trash and then dumping it into the ocean every single minute of every single day.
That's so much trash.
It is an extreme amount of trash. It's from people like you and I. It's from larger corporations. Everyone makes trash. What we can do is try to lessen the amount of trash that we use. Trying to use a reusable water bottle instead of a plastic one. That's a really great example.
Light pollution is the over-illumination of cities and night skies by artificial lighting. Sky glow is a halo over inhabited areas caused by the scattering of light particles. The more we study the negative effects of artificial light, the more we realize that it really is a pollutant in its impacts on humans and wildlife. Why is artificial light an issue? Nocturnal light interrupts sleep and disrupts the circadian rhythm. This is the internal 24-hour clock that guides day and night activities. Circadian rhythm disruption in humans affects sleep patterns, hormone regulation, and overall health. There are an abundant number of species being negatively affected by our light pollution, especially animals who are nocturnal or crepuscular. Sea turtle hatchlings find the sea by moving toward the brightest light source. In a natural setting, this would be the moonlight, reflecting off of the ocean. But bright artificial light can confuse and misdirect the hatchlings. Because of this, many never find their way to the ocean. I am here with Ranger Natalie in Caprock Canyons Canyons State Park, a newly international dark skies park. Can you tell us the difference between what the night skies are going to look like tonight versus like what we would see like in our backyard?
As an international dark sky park, there is a rating called a Bortle scale from 0 to 10, 0 being you can't see your hand in front of your face, 10 being like New York City. You wouldn't see a thing in the sky other than light. We are a Bortle 2. We are one of the darkest skies in Texas, almost in the United States.
Really?
Yes. You can see with the naked eye the Milky Way. You can see other galaxies, you can see star clusters. So around us, we have all these canyon systems, and we're being blocked by light pollution in surrounding towns.
So we're just shielded like on all sides. This is a perfect place. Many cities have adopted a lights out program to turn off building lights during bird migration to limit confusion and collisions. Polluted land, air, and water can take decades to try and remedy, but cleaning up the night skies is pretty simple. Just turn off the lights. If you can find a dark skies location like this one, take the chance to observe more stars than you ever could with SkyGlow. There are many ways that humans can combat all types of pollution, but it's going to take governments, corporations, and individuals all working together. Everyone can help in simple ways, like never pouring motor oil, household cleaners, or chemicals down the drain or on the ground, trying to only use non-toxic cleaning products, or avoiding single-use plastics. It seems small, but it adds up. So the next time you spot something in the environment that doesn't belong, take action. Some other ways that you can help are linked somewhere down there in the description. And if you want to learn more science, you can check out this video next.
I had to like turn around and be like, excuse me. Like I'm trying to talk.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Link. And excuse me. Hello. I'm trying to film a segment right now on plastic pollution. I'm trying to help you.